Hello, and welcome to episode 32 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Abby, and I am your host. With me, as always, are Logan and Jordan. We had some road to nationals this weekend, so let's get into it. Logan, what did you do in Flesh and Blood?
Played Armory, which was Uprising Draft, which is still fun to me. Was not my best showing. Thought I had a good Phi deck, and then the Phi decks at my table around me were as good or better. And I lost 3 dice rolls in the Phi mirror, and that'll do. That went 2 and 2. It wasn't great. Then played in an RTN yesterday, and it was 43 players, which is great. So 2 drafts plus draft top 8. Love it. First draft, I felt like I drafted. Myself and friend of the podcast, Dagan White, were actually seated next to each other in this draft. And we were both in Dromai. And neither of us could tell that the other one was in Dromai. Because at this 10-person pod, which is also just something else that I don't like, but this 10-person pod, there were only 2 Dromai players. And, right. So I'm getting past dragons from Dagan, who's taking like a brother in arms or something over the dragon because he has another dragon. He has 2 dragons already that he'd rather have. And he figures there's gotta be more Dromai at the table. And then there was an instance where like I opened and passed a red Embermaw Senpai and it went through 8 other people and arrived at Dagan. And so he was immediately like, oh, so Dromai's open. Great. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So we both had very good Dromai decks. His had the slight edge on, so I did not have a Silken form, and that ended up costing me definitely ended up costing me at least the last game in the pod. And then Dagan beat me in the second round, so I 1-2'd that pod. It didn't feel good. And then 2-1 the next pod. I lost to a listener, actually, Tyler, and he was on 5. It was a 5 mirror. He took my turn, kind of did the whole stretch neck crack. Okay, that was a good turn, and then slammed an uprising and then burned me alive. I'm like, oh, well, you took tempo back real fast, didn't you? Okay. So I lost that one, but won the other 2 in that pod, and which is, I mean, it was okay because Tyler ended up 4-2 and bubbled out in 9th, so I probably would have done the same had I 3-0'd that pod. So my downfall was in the first pod and not having either a piece of Arcane Barrier or the Silken form to actually create a piece of Arcane Barrier against Icelander. It was won by Matthew Tickle, who's very good. One of the top, probably at least 100 players in the U.S. Probably better than that, even if you really get down to it. And he drafted Icelander all 3 times. And he had 2-1 the first pod, 3-0 the second pod, and then won the last pod. So proof positive that if you draft Icelander correctly, you definitely can make headway and win events. So kudos to him. He played really well. Also just, guy I've known for a long time, and very gregarious and fun. So congrats to him. He had finished in a lot of second places. So glad he finally closed one thing out. But he'll be in Lille. So hopefully he carries this forward with his draft experience and does well there too. But Jordan, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I had a lot of Flesh and Blood this week. Friday, I played a Commoner Armory. I had never played Commoner before. So I just sleeved up a Phi list, and I was not alone. Well, it was basically like a Uprising block constructed Commoner night, is kind of what it morphed into. Like everybody was, I think there were 16 of us, and there were 2, maybe 3 non Uprising heroes. There was like a Kano and an Era for sure, but otherwise it was basically a Phi Icelander or Dromai Knight, which
Great.
is weird. And it's just like the CC decks for Phi, like they're just really good draft decks,
right?
Like there's not like unique. It's not like, oh, this deck gets different in standard or in classic constructed. It's just very much a
just
draft
more
deck.
of it.
Yeah, you just get play sets of like Blazing Headlongs and things that are good, right?
Yeah.
So I went 2 and 2 in that. Lost the mirror and to Kano because I didn't actually bring enough AB. I really was just like trying to quickly put a list together before I left, and only brought like 6 equipment, so like I didn't have like any null rune or anything.
Your deck's mostly red. What the hell are you going to AB?
Oh no, true. So actually, I had a thought process of like maybe I just like fatigue the Icelander player or like the Kano player. Like and like I don't know, plays like 9 blues I think. So like you can have turns where you like AB3 or something.
I guess.
But did a road to nationals on Saturday. It was a draft one. It's the only one I'm gonna be able to play in this season, unfortunately. But 1-2'd the first pod with Icelander, where after pack 1, I thought things were going very well. I had like 9 blue ice wizard cards and was like chilling, and then it dried up, and I only ended with like I want to say like 14 blue wizard cards, which is a big deviation from only getting 5 in the last few packs.
Yeah.
And then so my deck kind of like became really bad. I 1-2'd that pod. There were 3. It was an 8-person pod. There were 3 Icelanders, 3 Dromize, 2 Phis. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
I
different.
don't know. It was weird. Yeah, and I played two Dromize and lost, and then won an Icelander mirror. And then I 3-0'd the second pod with Phi, where I had probably the best draft deck I've had in any game ever. My deck was sick, and it didn't have any Blazing Headlongs. Like that tells you like how weird this deck was, but it was so good. Beat 2. I had the furnace, the chess piece.
Oh, flame scale furnace, yeah.
Flame scale furnace, yeah, and that like
That blocks
single-handedly
for
won
3.
me. Yeah, well, it single-handedly won me a 5 mirror. Where I didn't have tempo, and I got to get like 2 cards back that way. And I came in 9th on breakers. I was a little upset, but I don't get to be mad about like that after going 1 and 2 in the first pod. Just kind of just like that's what happens, you know.
Yeah.
Like you, Jim does weird things with pods. We had an 8-8-4 for our 8-8-8-4, right, Ab?
Yes, 8884.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
There was a 4.
So it's 36 players?
No, it's 28 players.
So it
Yeah,
should have been just
8,
4
6.
7s.
No, so Jim will default to.
No, I know. I'm saying it should have been 4 7s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So for people that don't know, Jim will default to impacting the least amount of players, and what it defines as impacting or buys. And when you do like intrapod pairing, it is better to have like in Jim's mind, it is better to like not have 3 buys every round. What would really be better would be do 3 7s and then cross pod pair. But I can also like respect the intrapod play, so it's kind of like a trade-off, but 8-8-8-4 is bananas.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, and then the second pod we had a pod of 11. So like
Because someone dropped.
someone dropped.
One person dropped.
So that took it to an 11-person pod. Yeah. Because Jim's minimum pod is 4 and their maximum I believe is 11. Right?
God.
So it was weird. The people I know one of the guys that drafted in the 4, and his deck was insane because he was the only Dromai player. So he just got like a good sealed deck of Dromai cards, and Crush 3-0 crushed his pod. And then in the 11, you didn't ever see a good card wheel. Like,
right,
the only cards that wheeled were trash. Yeah. Right, so like that was really weird to look at your back and go like, it doesn't matter what else is in this or what signals I'm sending. Like, it does not matter. Pick what you want to draft.
Have to take the single best thing and know that you're never getting any of it back.
Yeah, yeah, and that was a strange. So I don't recommend either of those.
No, it seems awful.
Yeah, which it's just a weird gem thing. I think Wizards would have 7-7-7'd and then intrapod paired. And I guess because there is no like intrapod pairing, that like nobody's impacted other than it's hard to prepare. Like any prep a player did is thrown out the window.
Right, which is
that's
which is an impact to a player.
Yeah, and that's definitely bad. Yeah, for sure. But it was definitely weird when so like Teague is the TO of the store that hosted this, and he was like, "Yeah, all right, you 4 have a blast," you know?
Yeah, I guess. But yeah,
he did take notes from the players that one guy played in both the 4 and the 11, and he was like, I need to talk to you about which one was worse.
I mean, that's good to do, but I would say that. I mean, hopefully it wasn't the Dromai guy because he'd be like, "Oh, the 11's way worse."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's untenable type stuff. I understand not wanting buys. I get that part, but that's there's got to be a better way.
Yeah. I don't know what it like. I don't know. I prefer playing within my pod. I definitely like that part, but I don't like drafting with 11 people, you
Mm-mm.
know. But my biggest, like regret from the weekend is probably just myself. Like you can't go 1-2 in a pod. Probably should have read some signals better and figured out what was going on.
Yeah,
Um, then
but
again, I am in a weird position with this format where I don't know if I think it's that easy to audible.
it's not.
If you start an Icelander, for example, that
You're
is the most
done.
narrow, you're done.
Yeah,
You are an Icelander deck.
but if you
You
start
know?
Draconic generically, you have a
Yes.
pivot opportunity at least.
Yes.
So there's that. But but Jordan, and I don't know if Abby's in or not, but we do have another event.
What?
We have the Instant Speed Challenge.
Oh yeah, I signed up for that this week too.
Yes, which
Yeah.
is Instant Speed Podcast, friend of our show. I would call us a friend of their show,
Yeah, I think so.
but I don't think so. They are running an online tournament, free to enter, for people in the Instant Speed Discord, and Jordan and I have joined to attempt to win some glory. It is sponsored by our friends at the Realm, who have been gracious enough to provide some prize support for this event. And
Yes.
this is going to be fun. I have another friend of the podcast, Pat Smashgood, in round one, who has said he's taking me to the steel cage. I told him no, we're going to Hell in a Cell, and have started posting memes back and forth and gifs to basically taunt each other. So it's exactly what it should be at this point.
Yeah, I have my match scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. So
Who are you playing?
I don't remember. The Reddit username is default. So
It's a good name. Strong
good
name.
name. Yeah, very strong. Very strong.
Yeah.
Ab, what'd you get up to in the old Flesh and Blood?
So I went to the Road to Nationals event. I won't say that I played in it because that would imply that the things I did could be considered playing. It might be the worst I've ever played in any game ever. But
We all have those days.
more importantly, I had two big things happen. First off, if you're not on video, you can't see it, but my James Whiteclaw koozie came in.
Cheers.
So I have been enjoying this. It is great. Thank you, Jeff. I have literally pumped about it. I yelled at Jordan because he posted the picture in the Discord yesterday, and I wanted to. I was a little testy.
What an
yesterday.
asshole.
I know. But in addition
fuck?
to that, so if you're in the Discord, I'm sure you saw Jordan and I were at a Warhammer. Is it Hammer?
Warhammer.
Plays Warhammer. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So my brother plays Warhammer. Him and his friend Caleb. Well, Caleb and his girlfriend have been playing Flesh and Blood for a couple months now. They own all of the Blitz decks that have come out. And my brother told me this weekend that Caleb was interested in building a classic constructed deck. So then we had dinner with them yesterday, and we were talking. He was like, this is what we've played, and so far the character that's like stood out to me the most was Chain, but he's gone now, so I have to figure out someone else. But like asking for like, what do we want to do? What are events we want to play? Like, kind of what's the meta? What do these decks look like? And then we went and had lunch with them today, and we gave them all of our bulk from Uprising. So
Bulk them up. Make
Yep.
them strong.
Yeah, we had a really weird amount of like extra playsets of Majestics too, because like the distribution in this set has been really weird. So like we gave them like 3 Uprisings and we still have like 6.
Right.
Like
yeah.
So like we gave them some good Majestics too, which was pretty cool. But kind of good to see more people in the game. And Toledo has like a strong like Flesh and Blood community. So
Yeah, this has been. I agree. This has been really weird. I opened 12 boxes and 13 legendaries, and a friend of the podcast, the Griddle Master, he opened 10 boxes with 0 legendaries. So
that's
it is
so weird.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Well,
opened
that's,
the double legendary booster pack.
That's
hmm
great.
Which is, yeah, absolutely would recommend. You guys should just try it
Let's
sometime.
try it once. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
know
yeah,
what's
that
fucked? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
So, did you know there are two different cold foil ash tokens?
Yes,
Yes.
learned that
I
yesterday.
did. Learned that like Thursday, and was just like, "That's not right." And buddy at the armory was like, "There are two different listings on TCG Player. One has a different border," and I'm like, "Doesn't sound right." And so immediately, because they're shoved into the same sleeve in the binder, I went and pulled them both out, and sure as shit, they're two different ones. And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Fuck!" Now I've got to redo the entire Marvel and cold foil sections of my fucking binder. And so I got mad.
Well,
But
if you don't want to redo it, you can just give us one.
it's already done.
'Cause
Sorry.
okay, well,
Okay.
anyone listening, if you have a cold foil ash token that you would like to part with, please let Jordan or I know because I want one so badly,
Do you
and
want the illusionist one or do you want the non-illusionist one?
I want literally any of them. I would just like one.
I think she wants the
I will get you one.
non-illusionist one.
I will get you one.
I just would like one. I
Okay.
I every pack that Jordan and I have opened, I've been pushing to get one. I have yet to. And then in the second draft Saturday, the guy to my left opens one and I was like, "Mother, I want one." But
I will get you one.
maybe one day.
No problem.
All
So
right. Here we go. News and notes. So we got some dates coming up here, so everybody get your calendars out.
finally.
So US Nationals will be September 23rd and 25th in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I
And
like Charlotte.
Worlds, I
Charlotte's
do
a great city.
too.
I like Charlotte.
I have a terminal there too, so maybe I can like get my work trip to coincide with Nationals dates. That would be dope.
It'd be nice.
That would be nice. Worlds, November 4th through the 6th, will be in San Jose, California.
Yes.
So, quickly about Worlds, the expansion booster set is set for November 2022. That is really tight. Is Worlds the first thing with the new set?
I want it to be. I want to be I want my head canon and where I want this to be is a zero spoiler first ever look draft is involved at Worlds for this set.
Yep. I
No
would
one
love that.
knows shit about fuck. And they come in sitting down cold to a draft of cards no one's ever seen. And I want that. I want big brain suss it out stuff. And I think that would be super cool. Do I think they'll do it? No. But
No.
I think it'd be very cool for them to do it.
I think we're gonna have what is likely to happen is we'll have like a mid-October like world premiere somewhere, maybe just in New Zealand,
Yeah.
and then like November
I mean,
Worlds, if we even have a world premiere.
honestly, they should just run back the world premiere in Vegas on the weekend before Worlds, because Vegas to San Jose is like a $40 flight.
Oh, sure.
So people could just be there for the world premiere and then fly to San Jose if they're international, and it would be super easy. But I mean, that's again, like, I'm pie in the sky in this shit. I don't honestly know. I just like that we have dates and we have locations. We can plan. It feels a lot better than the previous of what. And it's nice for me because I'm already scheduled to be in Vegas on that weekend and for Halloween anyway. So I'm just gonna stay on this trip or in Vegas for that week, and then fly to San Jose from Vegas.
What a hard trip, honestly.
Look, it's so difficult to wake up in these resorts every day. It's really trying. I don't know if you've ever experienced that rough life, but
and when you suffer from success, you know.
I mean, yeah, poor LSS.
That's right. And then in addition to that, we have a new Battle Hardened, a new one, right? This is not.
This is a brand new one. Yep.
All right, it's going to be in Portland, August 12th through the 14th. There will be a Super Armory on Friday, Battle Hardened on Saturday, and a skirmish on Sunday.
So at least that's a little more fleshed out than normal. I know that there's also a Battle Hardened. I don't know if this has been announced yet, but I believe it's a Battle Hardened in Minneapolis in October. But I don't know if that's out in the wild yet. But I've heard tell of it. So
That's cool. That's a good time.
Yeah, that's good. So I think that we're getting some clarity on some of these events finally, and we can all start making plans. So I know that you two were having some difficulties in figuring out where, what, when, how type of stuff. Are you going to be trying to make these events?
Yeah, that's interesting because we actually were talking about that last night when we read the article. I think Charlotte is definitely in the realm of like things we can do. It's a drivable for us. It's like 7 hours. Abby doesn't like driving more than like 45 minutes, but like she'll get over it.
So she flies to Mansfield. Is that
dude?
If I could,
the amount of
would,
fucking
yes.
snacks we need for a drive to Mansfield is incredible.
Yes, you never know what's gonna happen.
There shouldn't be a bathroom break if the trip is less than 9 hours, and like Abby is like, "Hey, can we stop here for food?" And it's like we're on our street actually.
All right, hold on.
we passed the Taco Bell that we go to for food.
We're at the Wawa. What the fuck do you need?
First off, there are two very important components to this story. One, I have a small bladder, and I don't need to hold my pee for 8 hours.
Dude, the Volkswagen Tiguan does not accept American Disability Act.
I am capable. Also, in addition to that, as a father who is disabled, we always had to stop on road trips because we had to stop. So yes, every like 2 to 3 hours, I would like to stop and get out and stretch my legs.
But Mansfield's an hour away.
Oh, I just don't want to go to Mansfield.
Oh, well, okay.
But seriously, hand to God, dude, halfway from here to Mansfield, we're stopping for fucking breaks. It's crazy.
We have never stopped on the way to Mansfield. Don't let him lie to you.
That's a blatant lie. So,
so how many Meryl to Strife episodes can there fucking
lying
be? Come on,
to the
kids.
nice people of the Flushing?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know that. I mean, like it. Okay, it is farther from Columbus to Mansfield than I thought when I drove from Columbus to Mansfield.
You got left out a little bit, yeah.
I got a little fucked, and that's fine. I know I've learned a lesson.
Right.
And I can move forward from there. We stopped once coming back from Loudonville to Columbus because I eventually was going to need gas, and was super like 40 cents a gallon cheaper halfway between Loudonville and Columbus.
Yeah.
So I did that, but otherwise there was no stopping. Like yesterday, I drove the 3.5 to Minneapolis, 0 stops, 0, none.
Nope.
Yeah,
just
dude,
put to the floorboard.
A 7-hour car trip takes like 10 hours with this woman. It's crazy.
Not gonna be able to do it.
But
that's
to answer your question,
I won't drive it.
To answer your question, I do think Charlotte is within the realm of doable. Worlds gets tricky. I'm not when I say doable, I see you shaking your head. I don't mean drivable. If we want to fly, we can, I guess. I just mean like on the calendar. Worlds is a little trickier only because we're going to Disneyland like 2 weeks later. And that we put on the calendar, like, because Disneyland, you know this after having been very recently, you have to book everything very far in advance to get like your reservations and to get like all the stuff you need to get.
It's asinine. You know what I mean?
It's absurd because you have people like Abby, like Disney adults that like, you know, set their watch at like 3 a.m. the night that it's due and like do it, you know?
Yeah, because I want to have the best experience.
No,
we are
again, nothing.
We are there the weekend after of Worlds.
What's that?
So we are at.
Disneyland it is the weekend after. Yeah, like Worlds ends on the 6th. We fly out the 13th. So it's very
you have
tight.
some time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There is a week lag. It might not be both of us. It might not be any of us. That one's going to be tight.
So why don't you just switch it from being Disney World to Disneyland?
No,
which is in Cali.
Disneyland.
Oh, so it's in Cali.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Makes it super easy.
Well, you'd have to have a 2-week vacation. Just tough work.
Yeah, you would just book your vacation to start like on the Monday after Worlds. So you fly to Worlds on Thursday, and then you fly to LA on Monday.
No, but you go the week before Thanksgiving because it's slower.
Oh yeah. Disneyland and Disney World are min maxed to the week before Thanksgiving is the slowest
It is.
time.
Sweet fucking shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, you have no idea. The week before, so we honeymooned in Disney World. And honest to God, we didn't wait more than an hour in a line that week.
Nope.
This isn't a Disney World podcast. By the way, Abby would probably love a
I
co-host
wish
on
it
that. So.
was.
But like, yeah, so that time is min maxed. There is a world, I guess, and this is just me talking, so Abby's probably going to say no right now, where we also just take the 7th through the 11th off and like stay in California and like do California shit. But like, I see Abby shaking her head, so
Okay, like I get it, and
yeah,
I understand. I've been to Disney now. I understand the misery that Jordan's about to go through. It's the happiest place on earth for very few people.
Okay, hold on.
And
Hold on. Before you continue, you went to Disney World. Okay, Disney World is the most magical. Disneyland is the happiest. I want to make sure that you have the correct terminology for what you're talking about.
Oh god.
But Jordan is also a Disney adult, so
I do love going to the parks. I don't
All
like
right.
do the TikToks and the planning and all that. I very much like showing up day of and like it being like Abby's planned it. Like that part is gas.
Yeah, okay, so like okay, full disclosure. If I could just have done it to be along for the ride, that might have been acceptable.
Yeah.
But that's not the life I live. I was not there to be along for the ride. I was there to move the train along.
Oh no, yeah. So Abby is
And-
the conductor of our caboose. When we go to the cities.
Like, okay, there was a Necria joke in there, and I decided not to make it.
There was a couple of things that could have been
yeah,
done for sure.
that could have been done. Yeah, I decided that discretion was the better part of valor on that.
I appreciate that. It was a very
And
broad. You had a very broad attack window, and I
it
appreciate
was
your
again,
hesitancy.
Yep, yep, dump
All
truck
right.
ass. But,
in addition to all of those events, we also have the content creator fantasy draft coming up for Pro
Woo!
Tour Lille.
Let's get them.
How many people have signed up, Jordan?
91.
What?
Love it.
You
91.
fucking psychopaths! I
That is
love
less
you.
than the amount of people that listen to this show. So what the fuck are you doing?
That's
But
right.
still, 91
right.
is great. Like I'm just
Yeah,
laughing my ass off. Like
Well,
you
then I
guys
just,
are
like,
all
knew the
fucking
number off the top of my head.
psychopaths. Oh my
I
god!
literally
No,
looked
like
like
91 people are like, you know what I would like to do? I would like to fill out this Google form, and I would like to participate in a flesh and blood fantasy draft involving content creators. Now, parse
Yeah.
those words in a 2021 context and fucking tell me that it doesn't sound like batshit craziness.
Yeah, it is absolute nonsense, right?
Right, and I'm guessing that we're going to be doing some kind of presentation for the victor in Columbus the weekend after, as we will,
Oh,
most
that's
of
a
us
good
will be there.
idea. I didn't
Yeah,
even think
so-
about that.
Most of us will be there, and we'll be able to make that happen. We should really try to find a way to get Az there too.
Oh boy.
I don't think Az listens to the show, but if he does, buddy, we would love to have you across the pond up in our shit.
Start swimming now.
Start swimming now, you'll make it.
That's right.
But I think 91's a pretty good number, and we're not done. But Jordan's right. We have more listeners than that. So where the fuck are you?
I'm talking to you. If you think
Why-
I'm not talking to you, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You.
Right. Why would you not
Driving in
sign
your-
up to win free stuff? That's
You're
like
driving in
half of the tweets I do are entering to win something.
Oh, you're one of those.
No, that's literally I've done two. but-
Possums and prize tweeting. That is
That's
your
right.
fucking life. Is possums and
Mhm.
prize tweeting.
Did you see the cute possum I tagged you in today? It was.
I saw a
adorable.
garbage fucking possum in this shit photo that I fucking hated immediately upon seeing it.
You couldn't even.
So,
He was taking a selfie.
are you fucking kidding me?
I'm getting real
Like,
sick of this slander. Okay,
slander.
hand.
No. There's an attorney on this fucking podcast, and they will tell you that facts are never slander.
It's not
So,
necessarily always true. But
god damn it, fuck you, Jordan.
so it's pretty nuanced. But it's funny because the local test CT we call ourselves the possum pack, and as like a call back to Flesh and Pod, and we have this thing we're all talking we were talking yesterday before the round, and then like they said pairings were up, so we all made what we each individually imagined to be a possum noise, and people were just like, oh, like,
Is it
like,
just kicking a trash can or like?
yeah, right. Like you just eat garbage. Actually, that's what you do. You literally find a napkin on the ground and you eat
It
it,
is a
and that's
two-beer show, by the way.
your show. Look at that.
But the yeah, I mean, those possums just like hiss. I figure they would just hiss.
Yeah, I tried to look up a video. They hiss and scream. So
Mm.
yeah, they're very cat-like in that regard. But
Possums do not get better with any other fact I learn about possums. They stay shit.
all of the voice channels in our testing Discord are facts about possums. So you can play your test game in the let's just see. Possum scientific name is Didelphis virginia. You can play in the Opossums Play Possum channel. You can play in the Possums Are Nocturnal channel.
Beautiful.
Or you can play in the possums breed and give birth of up to up to 2 litters of 4 to 8 joeys.
Okay, we're good.
That's right. They're marsupials.
I did get to open History Pack 1 Black Label German.
Yeah, did you get any bangers?
I do have a German Teklo Foundry heart. It is Teklo Gushers is the German name for Teklo Foundry heart. Teklo Gushers. So that's an interesting one. Snatch is Schnapper, which actually translates to snapper. That's maybe a punt. Maybe a punt.
They could have at least done Google Translate, right? Like, did they not, like they didn't even do that?
It doesn't seem like it. Command and Conquer translates exactly to Command and Conquer. Crippling Crush translates to exactly Crippling Crush. There are some other fairly funny ones, but they are a delight to open and figure out. To get those Untensunkens and the various other sundries of weird German cards that are in there. And I mean, honestly, because I grew up in my maternal great grandparents were native Germans born in Germany. It kind of is a nice little callback. I recognize some of the words and understand what they mean and stuff like that. And I know enough of them to go, oh, okay, I get this. Like, this is literally jamming attack reaction together as one word and adding some letters. Seems great. So it's like only 24 characters long or something. But there, the history packs, like history pack Black Label stuff is actually a really fun product to just open. Because there's some goofy shit and it's fun. Plus the packs are kind of like just the boxes themselves, like the cards themselves are kind of stacked. Like there's good stuff inside a history pack. I just was doing it for fun. But I got my Teklo Gushers. I don't know what I'm ever going to do with it, but I have it.
That's awesome.
It's so weird. Like I guess it's also a black border non-foil legendary, which is not a thing outside of Skullcap and Tunic until now. So
I guess that's true. It's pretty unique.
Plus Teklo Gushers.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why I randomly just thought about this. We were talking about Charlotte, and I don't want to jump back too far.
Gushers?
Charlotte is a cool city.
Yes.
And there is a lot to do in Uptown Charlotte. There's also the NASCAR Hall of Fame, which even if you're not a race fan, it is a cool place to go. Like I wasn't a race fan the last 2 times I've been to Charlotte, and I went to that and loved it. So
we'll be there in September. So
we will be there in September.
There may be a football game if you're into that type of thing. There's
you can watch Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, your boy. Yeah,
nope,
I've seen that show.
Well, I mean, you might. Your alternative is currently.
Not a great alternative. We're on the Jacoby
Brissett. Yeah, I think it's Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett train.
Looks like the defense got a pitch shutout for an entire year. They do need Dalen Mack, like because they got a pitch shutout like every week.
So insane. I'd buy season tickets today.
God, you are an easy mark, but I understand. I mean, I would probably go and with the intention of attending a game with you at that point. So
there we go. See,
yeah.
All right. Let's move it along. We have 1, 2, 3, 5 listener questions this week. First one is from Alan. What D&D alignment is each hero? We are on Crucible. So we've got KO, Ira, Benji, Kasai, Shiana, Dadadal, and Cavadine.
We cannot do what we usually do on these. It's been 16 years.
No, we got to spit these out.
I was like
I
going
mean-
through the list and I was like, God damn, that's right. This set just printed heroes for no reason.
Well, I mean, some of them for no
Some of
reason.
them. There are
but
like
yeah, there are.
actually every hero on here is like cool.
Cav
So
Dean would like to have a word with you,
that's
but
that's true.
KO's easy. That's chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Yes. Brutes we've talked about.
Easy. You try to get to the easy ones here. Data Doll's just true neutral because you program it to do whatever.
It's literally
Right.
a computer. Yeah.
Cav Dean is just a. I'm not sure on Cav Dean.
Chaotic neutral. I'm still gonna say right because he's a merchant, very out for himself. Just like
But wouldn't that just be neutral evil? Like you're just kind of out here yourself. You don't really give a shit otherwise.
yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't have any he doesn't have any good. Well, so I guess he's not inherently slanted towards doing bad, right? It's just very much like
Maybe he's just a true neutral. Then he's just going to do whatever for whoever pays him the most.
yeah, whatever makes the buck, right? Like not
Yeah,
necessarily
okay.
like if it helps somebody else, that's cool. Like
Yeah, it's going to be like a mom and pop store owner. Like this guy comes in, he's buying a bucket, some duct tape, a tarp, and some rope. You're just going to sell him the bucket, duct tape, tarp, and rope. You're not going to ask him what he's going to do with it.
It literally
like every
says
American gun store.
it literally says in his thing, with their life in ruin, the only thing his victims have left to offer is their own flesh and blood.
Well, that's neutral. That's not
okay.
neutral at all.
Yeah,
No.
that's evil. All right.
Yeah, he's evil.
All right.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Now we got to go back to the hard ones, like Ira.
Wasn't she just like a vigilante?
That's what I thought.
So that's Batman.
Chaotic
Right?
good, yeah, just Batman.
Batman.
Yeah, chaotic
Batman.
good. No
I'm
regrets.
the hero.
I'm Batman. With no like regard for the law, right? Like
Yeah.
so, just chaotic good at that point. Benji.
I know nothing about Benji.
I
barely know the text
the
box on the card.
piercing wind. Are you on the hero site, Abby? Can you give us some? Can you give us some background?
He's on his own.
Okay, well, he's a lone wolf. Okay.
In spite of his age, he is diligent and focused, harnessing his innate talent through years of careful study.
He respects his elders, hopes to be
devoted
Well,
student.
He's a family man. I'm going to
That puts
say
him at
lawful good.
Lawful might be a stretch, but maybe neutral good.
Neutral good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like diligent, respects his elders, hopes to one day number among the most skilled of his clan.
I guess that kind of just starts to point towards a different type of law. So I'll give you a lawful good.
I think it's all like relevant to your your culture, right? Yeah, will Benji be able to protect his clan from the trials that lie ahead?
Sure.
Like he's Dorinthia with like a different like
Dorinthia with extra steps.
Yeah.
All right, so then we have everybody's favorite. We have Kasai.
Yeah, I don't know much about Kasai.
Kasai is a mercenary.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So she's the daughter of a powerful general. She was the heir to that legacy.
Mm-hmm.
But Kasai lost everything in a single night. Her father was overthrown by his own lieutenant.
Became a merc.
She wanders the desert, stumbled across the Centauri, a group of bloodthirsty brigands. Brigands, thank you.
Basically, she's the head of the Centauri at this point. Kind of ascended through them, and is a brigand, basically, kind of looking to use the Centauri as her own army for vengeance.
Yep.
To basically, this is, so Kasai's a murder machine, and currently works with the brigands as a mercenary. But slowly turning them to her cause is her kind of thing. So her ideal is to go and murder her father's former lieutenants and take over the army that her father had. So she is just basically pure unadulterated rage and vengeance. But I don't know what to do with that.
If this adds another data point for you, there is a quote here under hero highlights. The promise of copper to feed herself is enough for this nomadic warrior to put her life on the line and her mind at ease. So she also has an economic incentive.
Yes.
I don't know if that adds any more data points to like.
Yeah, but because she lost everything. Like basically, she has to eat, and whoever she has to murder. But you look at some of the story that exists outside of it, where like blood in her hands. She's staring at the blood in her hands after murdering an entire like battalion with the Centauri, and it's kind of like, okay, what am I doing here? She
Yeah.
has the coppers. I mean, that from the from the job, but what else? Like it's
Is this a chaotic neutral then? Just kind of like out of control?
but she's not out of control. She has a goal, and everything is an aim toward that goal. This takes me to like a neutral to neutral evil stance. Vengeance is a really weird thing, though. How you take vengeance is also a really weird thing. So with her, I think that the Kasai Centauri sellsword is probably neutral evil, but like she has a character arc that is becoming defined. Also, my favorite character in Flesh and Blood, so there's that.
Mm.
Yeah, you're definitely the expert on her because she's your Blitz baby, and it seems like you
The coolest fucking
dig
art.
her. Yeah, she's kind of a badass.
Yeah, she don't take shit from no one.
So then Shiana, right? It's the last one.
Yep.
Shiana's a weird one because
She is a like an elite person that like slips around at night and does some like Princess Jasmine shit.
yeah, she's kind of a chaotic good type of thing. But
Yeah.
she's weird. She can, because she's again, master disguise. She's part of the group from Solana, so she kind of has that light aspect too, to a degree. But she's not afraid to get her hands dirty, like if she needs to. That's just a thing. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but her intent is good. So I think that we go with chaotic good for Shiana.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty cut and dry too.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's
All
pretty
right.
easy.
There we go. Question
We
number two.
did it.
Question number 2 is from Keith. If Fab introduced Mortal Kombat fatalities, what would the Uprising Hero fatalities be?
Are we using existing Mortal Kombat fatalities?
I think that's the
And
question. Yeah.
I am no help on this because I don't know
So
most of them.
so Dromai would be the scorpion, tear off the mask, reveal a skull, and breathe fire to scorch your opponent fatality, or to burn your opponent into a pile of ash fatality. Icelander would be the Sub-Zero,
Yep.
freeze your opponent
Yep.
and do the uppercut to shatter them fatality.
Yep.
What would I do with Phi? Phi doesn't wear a hat, otherwise we could do the throw your hat and eviscerate. Maybe you give Phi the Liu Kang fatalities.
Burnout.
Whereas one that turns into a dragon, he has what are Liu Kang's
Let me look at the
fatalities?
burnout fatality. Maybe that's it.
I think the burnout is he turning into a dragon. Well, the dragon, no, because the dragon eats them. The dragon bites the character in half, and blood spurts everywhere.
Oh, burnout's the one where they like it cuts them directly in half with like the chain, right? Am I crazy?
I think that might be it. It's been a long time since I played an MK.
Yeah, I haven't played Mortal Kombat since Super Nintendo, to be honest.
That was a while ago.
Yeah,
But
I wasn't a big fighting game guy.
What was the one that just like pulled out your skull and then the spinal
that
cord?
is a Sub-Zero fatality.
Okay, that was the only one I could think of, and I
Where
didn't know whose it was.
Yeah, it's that is forward down forward low punch is how to execute that fatality while standing one step away from the character which you want to execute that fatality. Don't ask how I know that. I may have performed it a few times. But that is so probably it's got to be one of the Liu Kang ones. I mean, I got a Google machine. Liu Kang.
Yeah, so the Liu Kang ones are Burnout, Belly of the Beast, and Stage Fatality.
Belly of the Beast is the Belly of the Beast is the dragon. Or no, that's the two kicks and uppercut that turns them into a bunch of hunks of person, like destroys them and turns them into nothing but viscera, and then the pieces of the character rain down around you while he celebrates the victory. So Belly of the Beast
Stage Fatality.
That's Belly of the Beast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Belly of the Beast is like he hits them. I think it's just 2 kicks. Like it's a kick and an uppercut, or 2 kicks and an uppercut, something like that. But I think I have a video of it here. But that's what it looks like.
Gotcha.
So yes, it's quite. I think that can be Fi, where it's just hit them fast and watch them explode and rain chunks of viscera.
Yeah, that
around
seems
you.
very Fi. Games are over in 2 turns.
Yeah,
you know?
game's over in 2 turns. It's fine.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, question number 3 is from Fighting Walloon. What is the biggest thing you once thought you knew for sure about Flesh and Blood, but now you don't believe it to be true?
So I have a pretty on the front one for me. The first like how to play Flesh and Blood video I watched, it was geared towards new players, right? So like
Sure.
it had some generic advice in it that wasn't always good. And it said, if you can play all the cards in your hand, do it, because that means you can draw the most cards. That's fucking nonsense. Okay? So this leads a little bit to where Dagan will yell at me because I want to play a burnout on turn 1. And when I should really just like pitch it or like arsenal it, literally anything, rip it in half and forget it exists.
Do not burn your 5-card hand alive. Yeah, don't.
Yeah, right. So like that's like a really big thing that like I heard and is really like stunted the growth because I have this thing in the back of my head of like, well, I can draw 4 or I can like draw 3 because I might already have an arsenal or whatever, right? So like, and that mentality of like you need to play all of your cards flies in the face of doing any kind of good setup,
right?
And that's important in the context of especially with like some of the go widey turns in Fi and draft, for example.
Yeah.
So that's my answer is how to manage your hand between turns.
Abby, do you have one?
Not that I have thought of yet.
I thought it'd be like Magic.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it'd be similar communities where you just have, a group of some people that you just kind of have to build yourself around a small group of people because the rest of the community is kind of not worth doing. That was my early thought. And I never thought that wouldn't be true because my experience with card games is that you have a small tent, but the big tent is kind of not for you, right? This game in this community is very big tent. Everybody is here for everybody else. It feels like there's no, I don't want to be a part of over here because that's where the toxic people are or anything like that. It's everybody's welcome. Everybody's here to have the same good time in different ways, and everybody respects everybody else's good time. So let's just have those. And that flies in the face of what I thought it would be because I didn't think there could be gaming communities like that. So again, I know we harp on community a lot on this show, but that's because the community is great. But that was kind of the mindset change for me, was looking at the community as a whole and what we do and going, oh, I actively want to be associated with the vast majority of people that play this game versus the opposite, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure. That is a strong deviation from a lot of other card games. Like, it is really weird because I hate most TCG players, but not fab players,
I mean, hate's a strong word, but my tolerance level drops considerably with a lot of other TCGs. And like, let's be honest, let's be, completely upfront here. I'm in my 40s. I don't have time to deal with things that I don't want to deal with. Your clock in this world is what it is. At some point in time runs out. And the only currency we have that's real in this world is time. Everything else is fake. Nothing else matters. So the most important thing you can give to any other person in this world is your time. And the worst thing you can do to anybody else in this world is waste their time. And at no point in time have I felt like this community ever has wasted my time. And all I want to do for this community is give them my time. And that flies in the face of everything I knew about these types of communities coming in.
Yeah, I hate most TCG players, but I like fab.
Jesus Christ. Came right back. I'm being poignant. I'm making all right, Fucking Jordan.
What else is new?
Yeah,
All right,
well,
question
nothing.
number 4 is from Lone Road Ninja. How would constructed formats look where you could play any hero, but your cards and equipment are limited to cards from the set that the hero came from? Would it suck or would it be an interesting variation?
So interesting.
Yeah, it's so this is called block constructed, but it's like playing a block. So block constructed was a thing of Magic where you could only play cards printed in that block. So think, if it was time or a Ravnica block, you can only play cards from Ravnica, Guild Pack, and Ascension. So it was 3 sets, right? And then this is that, but you then playing against things from different blocks. I think this is actually kind of fascinating, personally.
Yeah, like build a really good Monarch chain deck and then battle it against like a really good Dorinthia Welcome to Wraith deck. Yeah.
Right. I think you kind of have to ban Briar like straight away.
Mm-hmm.
Because
You might have to give like Null Rune stuff gets really interesting. Like Viscerai and Chain are probably terrifying. Like Viscerai in particular, I think is terrifying.
But look at Fi and Dromai now. Like their CC decks are basically block decks.
Yeah.
So if they're good enough, like they're that. Lexi is mostly a block deck except for 3 of a kind. Well, I guess like so that's changed quite a bit with the way that Lexi's built now, but could be.
Right.
Oldhim, you lose Sink Below, you lose Unmovable, you lose
you
lose Staunch.
Staunch response. Yeah, that's the big one.
So you lose a lot of the things that make Oldham's resilience to damage, like a lot of the D reacts. So you have to kind of focus more narrowly on either like Oldham's ability or actually killing your opponent.
Weird. No, thank you.
Yeah, weird. I think to kind of give our friend of the podcast, Lone Road Ninja, I think that this is interesting, not suck. I would explore this. I would have fun with this.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jordan, any thoughts?
No, I think I think it'd be worth playing a little bit. Like if you could get like a little league with your friends to try out like casually, it'd be really fun to do. My guess is that Viscerai would be the best deck.
Or Kano.
Or Kano. Oh yeah, Kano. Any kind of arcane based damage, because again, if you're playing not from a set that
has it,
Arcane Rising or Uprising, right?
Or Uprising.
Yeah, you don't have access to Arcane Barrier.
There is one piece of Arcane Barrier in Tails. Don't forget it.
Which one is that?
Heart of Ice.
Oh, sure. So yeah, sure. So you'd have
Heart of Ice
play...
and Crown of Seeds is pseudo Arcane Barrier, but
yeah, it's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 5 is from Teague. Each of you have to pick one of your co-hosts. You can't choose yourself. That person is is a hero in the next Fab set. You can use an existing class or create a new one. What class are they, and what is their hero ability? So I did Logan, so I'm going to start.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds great.
Logan would be a bard.
Oh, well, thank you.
And then he would be like a high level bard, like low level rogue. And so then he would get you drunk, and then like once he had like enough drink counters, then he would just like he would pull like a Kasai and like get all the coins and then like go off from
I
there.
have never done that in my life. But I appreciate that, I guess.
Hey, Logan, if I made a card about you, they'd steal.
No, that's not what I said.
He would be an utter thief and just rob people blind. Like, your goal is to get them drunk and catfish them. Does that feel like something you want to be doing with your life? Jesus
That's not what
Christ.
I said.
Get them drunk and steal from them. That's what I heard.
No, you would get them drunk and then you would get more coins from it. Because as you get drunk, people tip more. My God. You think
that's not what I heard at all.
That's not what you said.
Yeah,
that is 1,000% what I meant. I did not say that you stole anything.
That's not what you said, but that's I believe that's what you meant. I believe you.
Yeah, I believe there's an intent gap with your
well, the implication, Logan.
Yes. It's implication.
Yeah.
I mean, I have got people drunk so that they would pay my bar tab. I guess that qualifies. But I mean, I've never just jacked money from them. Like, I'm a better human than that, I think. Christ.
I was gonna give
I,
Logan a Guinness what you need type of deal based purely on the name. That is kind of, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, man, that is really fitting.
yeah,
It
Guinness has
was
got what you need.
that or like some kind of like dice rolly effect. There is like some way to roll bones. Uh, Maybe you gamble life, like just high
Well, I
roll
mean,
for life.
yeah, it's like so you like. I guess I'm kind of riffing off your thing now. It'd be like the hero ability would be, once per turn, any other player may choose to roll two six-sided dice. Then you roll two six-sided dice. The winner of the outcome with the highest roll or highest double, draws two cards.
Oh,
Like,
sick, yeah.
like gamble at me. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's just roll bones.
Um,
Like, yeah.
See, I had Abby, as the adjudicator. So
Oh,
she's
yeah.
kind of the judge, the referee between us on this show to kind of keep things moving along. And her ability would be, pitch six and the end of player's turn. Stop them from fucking talking. So just tell them to shut up. So just two blues, stop. Just shut up. But can only and it'd be like an effect that you had to have a counter on her to do it. It's like once per turn, do one of these, either pitch six to do this or add a counter. Or something like, or add a count. If there's no counter, add a counter.
Mhm.
And so if she has a counter, she can do that. If she doesn't have a counter, she can't do that. But it would be an ultimate pit fight hero. There's no fucking way you could ever do that in like constructed. Just no.
Well, I
But
wouldn't be in a classic constructed one.
right.
Anyway.
Well, yes, but like an ultimate pit fight, shut the fuck up hero seems like a pretty on the nose for Abby.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
cool.
so.
I like that.
I mean, it's better than stealing from people.
Yeah, no shit,
Oh my
right?
god, that's fine. I won't answer listener questions anymore if I'm
Jordan,
saying
Jordan's a
that.
brute. We're just gonna give Jordan a brute.
Deal.
Like you're just a brute.
Deal.
Maybe we give you some other component, but everything. Jordan's Jordan. I don't know if you know about this about yourself, but you're not heavily nuanced in your methodology or discussion when it comes to other people.
Oh no, I think I'm very precise actually.
Precise as far as the club will always hit what it's aiming at.
Yeah, no, I said hate. That's a carefully chosen word.
It's, I guess, a very well chosen word.
Yeah, no, I mean,
But it was
no,
a broad swing. But
it was as nuanced as needed, I guess.
that's fair.
Yeah, as nuanced as required.
As nuanced as required.
But you make a good point. A sledgehammer and a regular hammer both hit the nail.
I agree.
One might cause more damage than needed. But is that really what we're here for?
But who's determining need?
Exactly.
Because
not my bridge. I don't give a fuck.
If the need is simply that the nail needs to go into the wall, you didn't say anything about the wall being there after I'm done. You just said the nail needs to go in.
Exactly.
Simple.
Yeah.
For sure. For
My
sure.
God. Can't
All
believe
right.
Abby thinks I'm a thief.
Here we go. All right.
You dug this. This is on you.
It's fine. Listen, I won't answer the listener questions if that's how it's going to be. It's fine.
No, you have to.
Yeah,
These are our people. You can't deny the people.
Speaking of our people, shout out here to our executive producer and above on our Patreon. So we have Ed M, Josh L, Kenny, Nick D, Ricky, Teague W, Ben M, Corey S, Alan B, and Michael B. So again, our Patreon is live. We have had a great support since we launched it. I mean, honestly, it's
I don't
unreal.
get it.
Yeah,
Logan,
I know.
are you looking at the Patreon list right now? Do you have it up
I
as well?
am. Yeah.
Do you wonder how Abby had it filtered? Because it was like not at all in the order that I had it, and I was just like really interested in
The
how
order
it was
that
filtered.
I have it is Alan B is an
Yeah.
executive, is a possum supporter, but is an executive. Our executive producers are Alan B, Ben M, Corey S, Kenny A, Ed M, Nick D, Josh L, Mike B, the Flea, Ricky K, and Teague W. That's what order I have.
Yeah, that's the order I have, and that's not what Abby said. So I'm just really curious as to how she has it filtered because I was like bouncing all around, looking at all the names, like what the hell?
I'm
Oh,
not
so
about to. I'm not about to talk shit about Abby right now because I've done plenty of that already today.
No, no, no. I mean, it doesn't really matter how it's sorted. I'm just looking at the list, and I was like, what list am I looking at? Am I looking at the wrong list? But
probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
that's possible too.
All
Yeah,
right. As always, you can find us on Twitter at FlushPod. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. You can give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. If you feel so inclined, you can shoot us an email at flushandpod@gmail.com. My personal Twitter is at AbbyD83. I have kept my tweeting streak going.
To possums.
So we're at, I don't know,
10
4 or
days
5 weeks. No, it's
more.
I tweeted every week in the month of June. So
Well, there you go.
we have continued that. My Formula One driver won today, so it's been quite an exciting day for me.
There you go.
Logan?
You can find me on Twitter at Logan Peterson, tweeting almost exclusively about Flesh and Blood. You can find me in the Discord again, Logan Peterson, pretty easy to find. You can also find us on at patreon.com/fleshandpod. If you do want to support the show, which we would love you dearly, but we will anyway. That really doesn't affect anything outside of stuff that we may or may not send you for being our supporters. I shouldn't say may or may not. Some of that's guaranteed, but there may be other stuff and other stuff on top of other stuff. There's stuff on top of stuff. That sound right? Anyway, I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this, but it sounds great.
You're doing great.
But yeah, that's where you can find me. I respond mostly in Discord, although I also respond to Twitter pretty heavily if you tag me on that. So just come and have a conversation with me, and it may or may not involve a lot of expletives. That is definitely my hallmark. Jordan?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at I'm Jerman, tweeting a lot of Flesh and Blood, a lot of sports, both like F1 and baseball right now are kind of my go-tos there. U.S. politics when I'm in a bad mood. Also doing Fab Fitness Challenge and doing some vlogs every other day over there for that. So worth checking out and coming to hang out. But to echo what everybody said, thank you to the patrons that have supported. And you can get in the door for as low as $2 a month. So you can get into the cool Discord channel. And yeah, so thank you to everybody that's doing that. That's great.
That's right. We definitely appreciate all of it. Do you guys have anything else?
Send us out of here, Captain.
All right. We will talk to all of you next week and hop in the Discord if you haven't already. Bye.